of the Mole Sisters with Elise and
Michaela. We are two sisters born with moles on our faces, and each week we discuss women in art and music history.
Okay. So this week, Michaela's going to be talking about pianist and composer Fandy. Oh my God, Fanny Mendelssohn.
Fanny Mendelssohn. Fanny Mendelssohn. We love her. Yeah. So Fanny Mendelssohn, who you have definitely heard her music without realizing it because her brother Felix Mendelssohn, who you might have heard of.
No.
I don't know if you know Felix. Okay, well, that's just a dirty rotten shame. Now I'm a little embarrassed.
I would probably recognize the music, but I don't know the name.
Okay, well, Felix Mendelssohn, he wrote the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto, which is only one of the most famous violin concertos.
Okay.
Okay,
Doesn't ring
anyway,
a bell.
amongst many other things, he's composed so
Okay.
much. But so she was born to a wealthy family in Hamburg, November 14th of 1805.
Wow.
So she learned to play piano as a young child, and her mother, I think it was Leah, not just Lee. I'm pretty sure Leah. Yeah, I don't know. There's no H at the end. So we're going to go with Leah. Knew from the day Fanny was born that she was fated to be a pianist. She described her newborn's Bach fugal fingers. And
Interesting.
so she was Leah was a keyboard player herself, and she had studied under a student of Bach. And she was right about her daughter because she was quite amazing. So in 1819, so she was 14, Fanny played the Well-Tempered Clavier by memory for her father as a birthday present, which is a big work.
Damn.
Like
Yeah.
there's like many pieces within that. So yeah, her composition teacher is quoted saying, "This child really is something special." And unfortunately, given the time, her father was a firm believer that composition was not a womanly career path. Typical men. It doesn't seem like she had a bad relationship with her father or her brothers. It just, it was like a bad thing for the times. Like it sucked being a woman, and she just kind of went with it. I'm sure she wasn't happy the whole time. So when Fanny was 14 and Felix was 10, an aunt sent them gifts from Paris. Fanny received a necklace of Scottish jewels, while Felix got writing implements to compose his first opera with.
What a bitch.
So, right.
Damn.
So it's just like being perpetuated by the whole family. Her father also famously wrote to her saying, "Music will perhaps become his profession," as in Felix. While for you, it can and must be only an ornament. Yeah, little
Fuck
bitch.
ass
So
man.
yeah. So I mean, it's just like I understand they were very influential because of their wealth, but also and like it was the time. So I understand like that was the norm, but the norm sucked. What the
Yeah,
hell?
it
Because she
is.
was amazing. So her brother Felix was very supportive of her compositions, but he didn't believe that she should publish her music. Yeah. He once said, and I think this is all in writing, like this is how they have these quotes, is from my knowledge of Fanny, I should say that she has neither inclination nor vocation for authorship. She is too much all that a woman ought to be for this.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, the other women we've talked about so far, though, I feel like, well, we don't really have a lot of information if they were supported.
I feel like it wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like a lot of them had people around them that at least acknowledged the fact that they were great.
Yeah.
But like they're not even working to build her up, and they have the means to do so, unlike a lot of these other people did. So yeah, it kind of sucks. Well, in early 1821, she fell in love with a man named William Hensel, who was a painter. So art is drawn to art. Her family was hesitant to approve of the match because of the age gap. She was 16, he was 27. But after 7 years had passed, he finally got permission to propose. So he did make it clear that her unlimited practice of music was to be a precondition of their marriage. So he was very supportive of her music career.
Sweet.
Yeah. So it makes sense that whatever. Yeah. So Felix, great brother that he is, had promised to write the music for her wedding ceremony. He never did it. And so she wrote the music for hers the night before the wedding.
Damn.
Yeah. Yup.
You can just imagine. I mean, they didn't have phones then, but like, are you joking? You didn't write it when you promised
Yep.
that you would?
Yep.
And so she's
Yup.
scrounging the night before trying to write this?
Yep. Covering your ass. Yeah. When she had plenty of other things to think about.
Yeah.
Getting married. Yeah. Asshole. But, apparently it was all water under the bridge because when she had her son, Sebastian, his full name was Sebastian Ludwig Felix Hensel, after her three favorite composers. It was Bach, so Johann Sebastian Bach,
Hmm.
Beethoven, Ludwig, and
Yeah.
then her brother.
Okay.
He was her third favorite composer. So Sebastian was her only child. So
Okay.
apparently she still loved Felix or whatever. I don't understand it, but okay. So her husband was pretty enamored by her, and he used her as a model for one of his famous paintings that depicted Miriam, the
Hmm.
biblical feature. And Miriam was often used in art to represent music, like the art of music
Okay.
within paintings. So, yeah, he used his muse as Miriam.
Aw.
So in 1838, Queen Victoria met him, saw the painting, and commented on Miriam's beauty. And so then he presented the painting to the queen, and she gave them diamonds gave a diamond and an emerald ring as
Wow.
a return. So she liked his work. So Felix, being the way that he was, how he, supported her compositions but didn't support her publishing, he published some of her works under his name. And this was one of the only ways. It wasn't necessarily in an attempt for him to take the credit, because anytime anyone asked, he said, "My sister wrote this."
Okay.
But it was a way to get her music published
I
in
see.
that time because she couldn't publish her own. So one of the pieces or songs that he published was called Italian. And shortly after that, he was invited to perform some of his music for Queen Victoria in Buckingham Palace. She specially requested that he perform that piece, and he had to reply, I would assume very awkwardly, that this song was actually the work of his sister. So
Damn.
he did have to tell the queen, like, so I didn't do that one actually. So yeah. So then, as kind of an act of rebellion, but also just a way to get her music out there and be able to express herself, she became really famous for music events she would hold in her home. So because she was in her house, she kind of had free reign to do whatever she wanted. She could take on any musician role. So she decided to take up conducting. She just wanted to try it
Oh,
out because women were not allowed to conduct out
okay.
in the general sphere of things. But this is the crazy thing is it's like I knew this from knowing history of Felix Mendelssohn. They were wealthy enough, like he was wealthy enough to hire his own orchestras
Okay.
which was a very expensive endeavor, as you would expect, because it's very expensive now too. But it was just a way to they just had their leg up. So anyway, she was able to hire an orchestra apparently, and she wrote in a letter to Felix that and says, "Mother has certainly told you about the orchestra on Saturday and how I stood up there with a baton in my hand. Had I not been so horribly shy and embarrassed with every stroke, I would have been able to conduct reasonably well." So she was nervous. I assume
Yeah.
she didn't do the greatest, but she got her chance to conduct, I guess.
But she had the means to
Yeah.
do so.
Mhm. Yep. So she wrote a letter to Felix one day. It was she was a little nervous in this letter. It was about her plans to begin publishing her own music. And so she was 40 years old at the time of this. And so she said, "Actually, I wouldn't expect you to read this rubbish now, busy as you are, if I didn't have to tell you something. But since I know from the start that you won't like it, it's a bit awkward to get underway. So laugh at me or not, as you wish. I'm afraid of my brothers at age 40, as I was of father at age 14. In a word, I'm beginning to publish." Unfortunately, she didn't have much time left, though. So she did begin publishing at the age of 40,
Hmm.
and only a few pieces came out under her actual name. But then a year later, May 14th, 1847, when she was 41 years old, she had assembled a chorus to her house to rehearse a piece by Felix. And she was directing them from the piano when suddenly she lost sensation in her hands.
Mm.
It had happened before, so she took a break and like rubbed her fingers with vinegar, I guess. I don't know, whatever, to try to get the feeling in them back. I guess that was a thing. I don't know if that's a real thing to do, but she yelled from the other room as they sang how beautiful it sounds, and then she had a stroke and died before the day was over.
My
So
goodness.
yeah, so she died at the age of 41. Felix was devastated about this, that he lost his sister. So, and then he became very paranoid that he was also going to die young from a stroke or whatever. And he actually did 5 months after she did.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yep. And I don't like, who knows if that was just he was stressing himself out so much that
Yeah.
it led to that. I don't know. But overall, Fanny, in her lifetime, she wrote 460 pieces of music, including many songs without words, it's a type of piano piece that her brother became famous for, but it's musicologists now believe that it was actually her that pioneered that
Oh, okay.
musical form. Yeah. So, and then her brother just got credit for it. So there are works even now that have been attributed to Felix that are now being reattributed to her because it was
Okay.
actually her. Because she would often sign it F. Mendelssohn,
Mm-hmm.
and that could have been Fanny or Felix. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Taken too soon.
I know. And she was so like good at what she did. Yeah. I don't know. Too bad.
How long did her husband live?
Oh, that's a good question. He lived until 1861 and she died in 1847. So,
Okay. He lived a few years later.
yeah. He was 67
Okay.
when he died. Because he was, remember, like 9 years older than her.
Yeah.
10 years. No, actually more, 11 years older than her. But he loved his wife.
Well, that's good. And he encouraged her, which was also
He
good.
did encourage her. Yeah, I'm going to send you this portrait. I think this is of Fanny.
Interesting hair.
Yes. I think that doesn't really do her justice. I'm not going to
I
lie.
think I should do my hair like that.
I think you should not.
It kind of looks like the pigtails from the girl in the Polar Express, you know? Or it's not even pigtails, those were braids. But I feel like it's a similar vibe, you know?
Yeah, she does kind of have that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like she was much more badass in person, though.
I would hope so.
You're like, that picture? No. Yeah.
Oh, thanks for talking about Fanny here. Is that her
Yeah, of course.
full name, Fanny? Or was that a nickname?
I think that's her full name. Yeah. Fanny
Fan?
Cecily
What?
Mendelssohn Bartholdi.
Okay. Fanny.
Fanny. Fanny had a Fanny.
How it usually
Sorry.
goes. But
anyway, thank you for listening to week 8 of the Mole Sisters. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, or Spotify.
and tune in next week. I'm going to be discussing American painter Georgia O'Keeffe.
We love Georgia O'Keeffe.
Yes.
All right. Anyway.
3, 2, 1. Bye.
Bye.